Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Now today we are going to be talking about fixing your credit. Now if you guys have been following me along this journey on YouTube with my cars and stuff, you know that I at some point repaired my credit, or I'm in the process of even still repairing my credit. But it was really bad before, and although it's not perfect now, it became a lot better to where I could finance a car. For example, this car. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is a 2017 Camaro SS. So anyway, what I wanted to do with this video is give you guys some advice or a few tips on, you know, how to fix your credit if you're looking to buy a car. You know, this applies for not just a car, for anything, you know, that, you know, requires a better credit score. But ultimately, these tips I'm gonna give you, they are based on my experience in repairing my own credit myself, you know, to buy a car. So let's just get right into it. All right guys, so the first thing is you have to know your score, okay? And it's not just knowing your score from like one free tool online or something like that, all right? Know your score from different angles. What I mean by that, guys, is that there are many free services online out there to check your credit score, and you want to know your credit score from all of them, because all of them report at different times. They report different scores. And you know, depending on the type of score, for example, you know, when getting a car, there's this thing called the auto FICO score, which is specifically used a lot of times when, you know, banks and stuff are trying to determine if they want to finance you for a car. So some of the tools you guys can use out there, there's this one called Experian. This is like my favorite one because this specifically gives you the auto FICO score, okay? It also gives you a lot of other FICO scores too, from like Equifax, I believe, and TransUnion. And one thing about Experian, guys, that I really like is that they have a feature called Instant Boost.
Remember when we first met? Credit scores weren't great. Then I found you. You told me that only Experian Boost could raise my credit scores instantly. And it did.
Where you can basically get an instant jump to your score, and how it works is that they can link to your bank account, and they can look at your history of different things you pay. And if it's like a utility bill, I believe, like let's say you pay a light bill or something, or your phone bill, they report all your payments you've paid in the past. They report it to, you know, the credit bureaus. Another tool I use is creditkarma.com. okay? Credit Karma is good. However, the scores that are on there are not FICO scores, okay? So it's still important to know your score from Credit Karma too, because like I said, depending on where you go, they use all kinds of different scores. Another free tool I use as well is called Credit Sesame. I'll also have the link in the description to all these tools that I'm talking about, guys, that I use. All right guys, so the second tip I have to building your credit or fixing your credit is to open as many credit cards as possible. Now, I know that's gonna sound a little controversial, but trust me, every single credit card you open, okay, you increase your score. Like every time there's a new account, your score goes up, all right? And I know if your credit is really bad, of course you're not gonna get approved for a lot of credit cards. However, the best ones, or the best chances to get approved, are these credit cards called let me close the roof. This credit card's called secure credit cards, okay? Secure credit cards are the ones where you deposit your own money to start the credit card account, okay? So it's a much higher chance of approval because they're not giving you, you know, they're not loaning you any money right off the bat. So secure credit cards, I opened several. I'll put a link in the description. I've used several. I've used ones like Self Lender. I have a Discover credit card as well. And like I said, each of these accounts I opened, when I opened them, they increased my credit score just from opening them. Now, of course, if you guys do this, two things. Don't leave the account inactive. Don't just open it and then not use it ever, because the account will be marked as dormant or inactive, and then that's not really gonna help your score at all. Another thing too is, if you do decide to use those cards to make a purchase, of course it should be obvious, make sure you pay them on time. As soon as you make a purchase with the cards, try and pay it off as soon as the system allows you to pay it off. So sometimes you might make a purchase, but maybe in like the next 24 to 48 hours is when you can pay it, because the transaction has to fully process. So as soon as that 24 to 48 hour period is up, trust me, just pay it off right away, and just keep doing that for several months. So what that is doing is basically giving you credit history, and that's another big portion of your credit score. A third tip I have for you guys is to pay off your lowest balance of any accounts that you may be in debt for, like a credit card or anything. Definitely pay off the lowest balance first. For example, for me, my lowest account that I owed on was this T-Mobile account for phone service. I didn't want to pay because I feel like they ripped me off. But regardless, it was on my credit. The balance I owed them was like $175, right? But eventually I paid that off, and that it didn't necessarily increase my score, but it definitely stopped hurting my score, which is what you want. Now, speaking of this account that I paid off, that takes me to my next point. A lot of these debt collectors, okay, that you guys may or may not owe money to, a lot of them are willing to settle. A lot of them are willing to settle for a lot less than what you owe. So when I went to pay the T-Mobile balance, or the debt collector that bought it from them, when I went to pay on the debt collector's website, they actually gave me two options. Like, I was ready to pay the $175, but on their website they're like, oh, the original creditor, or T-Mobile, they're willing to settle for $99. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, shit, I'm ready, let's pay it, So that worked in my favor. I saved some money there, and I got that mark off my credit report, hurting my score every month. So guys, let's just recap real quick the 3 tips I have for fixing and building your credit. One is starting to know your credit score from all different angles. You have several tools out there like Experian.com, you have CreditKarma.com, you have Credit Sesame. The second thing is, opening different credit card accounts and making sure you're responsible with them. The third thing is pay off your debt, guys, and it's easiest to start with your lowest amount first. Just makes it easy. I don't know, it's something about paying off your when you pay off your lowest debt and you see it come off your score, it's something about it that just makes you feel really good, and I guess it kind of motivates you to just go ahead and work towards the rest of it. So guys, let me know if you found any of these tips useful. Let me know if any of you end up trying any of them and how it works for you. These are some of the things I did, and as you can see, if you watched my channel from the beginning, obviously something worked, following these steps. So yeah, man, free game, free advice. I ain't selling you guys anything. I'm just trying to help out somebody else, man. So that's going to be it for this video, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one.